morning. Table's a bit close to the whiteboard. So this is a little bit of a diversion from what I was creating yesterday. It's not to say I'm not going to come back to it today. I just wanted to share this. I'm just going to grab my coffee and my whiteboard markers. I wanted to share this experience, or this conversation I had yesterday on Clubhouse, the social media app, the speaking one. If you search for it, you'll see it everywhere. It's mentioned quite a few places. And there was this epic conversation with a number of PhDs and doctors in psychology. And the conversation was about evolutionary psychology, which for what I'm up to here, and really what I'm up to in the world is phenomenal. Like, it's like understanding people, discovering what has people be successful or not, discovering things about myself, and this stuff. It's what I'm up to. So I was just like a pig in the mud, in the swimming. And the topic of racism came up. I was going to check. My tripod is almost going to fall off the table there. The topic of racism came up, and there was some racism is a strong subject. It's a lot of conflict in it. A lot of people don't want it around. Most people are sick of it. We've been trying to make a difference to it for a really long time, and progress seems to be quite slow. And there were some very, very good opinions around why racism exists at all. Immensely interesting to hear these experts talk about this stuff. And I listened and I listened and I listened, and I had questions. So I was up on the stage, but I just wanted to consume as much as possible. Anyway, the room was about to close, and I had to take my opportunity. And one of the things that I've come up in doing my research for Brain Matrix is this thing that I noticed, is that we don't notice the similarities, we notice the differences. And it perplexed me because I had never noticed it. It was really weird. I can't actually remember where I got it from or how I discovered it for myself. It was probably in some, I was creating some situation where I would see this. But what that situation was, I can't remember. And it was about sitting, when you go to a bathroom or when you go out in the world, we never notice how many circles, squares and rectangles they are. Like, it's just never occurred to me. It's never occurred to me as an issue. It's never occurred to me as something that I should be aware of. I just never noticed it. And so I started to test it with others. So I'd just ask the question in a conversation, at coffee, or, I'd post up, I'd send someone a photo of a bathroom, just a regular everyday bathroom, or ask them to go in their bathroom, which is probably a bit weird, but most people who know me know that I'm sometimes might have a tendency to ask these questions. And I noticed that almost no one was aware of it. And what I got is that when you go out in the world and you get really deeply interested in the similarities, they're unbelievably large number of similarities. Like, you go and look at the skyline or a city, and the number of similarities is just overwhelming. The number of differences, on the other hand, is quite small. Like, you go and look at human beings, and the number of similarities is phenomenal. Like, you ever notice that you don't walk around the street going, oh, geez, that person's got legs like me? Yeah, oh, their arms look so similar. Oh, red hair, just like me, Oh, he's got 2 ears, 2 eyes. Oh, 2 ears and 2 eyes. Well, that one, oh, cool. We notice, oh, they don't have a leg, or they don't have an arm, or they're in a wheelchair, or they don't have an ear. We notice the differences, and it perplexed me. Why do we do that? Because it has such a profound impact in society. The common saying, we're all different, which is true, except 99.9% of the time we're exactly the same. We all think very similarly. We notice the differences because it's, in my view, and if we consider it, it's more computationally efficient. And what I mean by that is that if you consider what you're seeing right now, you're focused mostly on the things that are changing and not the things that aren't. You don't need to worry about the things that aren't changing. If you think about it, this from a if evolution's your thing, we're a frog or something like that, all we've got to think about is the flies moving around. Anything that's moving is either dangerous or food, which is a completely different subject, but points to the same thing. And I asked that question. I said, what does this mean? Is there something I'm missing? Where else could I take this? And I didn't get a response. It was like I didn't say it at all. And that was fascinating for me. But these experts, they didn't really have anything to come from. And I get that it's a different area of expertise. And I said, from a purely mathematical model, we see differences. That's just the way it is. It's more computationally efficient for human beings to see differences. And it's possible that it was outside the realms of what they felt that they were capable of doing. And if that's the case, then that's awesome, because this might be new information to them or a new perspective. If I'm completely off the mark, I don't think I am, and I really enjoy this. So I think that I win, win in terms of getting to do my life and on to something. Because I think if someone had a lot to say about it, then it wouldn't be a unique perspective. And that's what I'm really looking for, a unique perspective. So I'm going to go with that perspective of no answer, like crickets, in a room with 150 people in it. So, I've got to ask this cool question though, have I written any papers? So I'm going to have to work out how you write papers about this sort of stuff. Which is going to be interesting. Jessica McElveen, if you're watching this, hey, me and you might have to study being experts, hey? Thanks for watching, champions. And if you've got any questions, as usual, anything like that, you just pop on in, DM me, whatever, however you wanted to call me. I'm good for it. Bye.